Yo, what is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Deep Zones. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get right into this live stream. We got my dog Otto from Comics Pursuit. Welcome to the show, bro. What it
What's
do,
up,
man?
bro?
We're just gonna talk about Miami Dolphins today for the next 30 to 40 minutes on top. Let me know in the comment section down below or in the live chat if you guys are enjoying this. Appreciate you guys taking out your weekend to watch. Now, we got some questions, bro. You already know that Tua Tagovailoa is under the scrutiny with, let's just say, the Tua contract. It's been up in the air. It's been in smoke. Chris Greer doesn't want to meet halfway. The market is the market, like you mentioned. So I got a couple questions to ask to my dog here, and we're going to get right into this. So do me one quick favor. Once again, everyone, you know what to do. Oh, press the wrong one. Now, Tua Tagovailoa, the future in Miami. That's the big discussion that everyone in the Dolphins community is talking about, Otto. And I'm going to ask you some questions, so let's go. So what is your honest opinion on Tua Tagovailoa and his future, and where do you think it stands so far with the front office and them?
I think you have no choice but to resign Tua at this point.
Okay.
You look into the 2025 free agents. Who do you have? Dak Prescott. Justin Fields, right? You have Jordan Love. You have guys that most likely will sign. I don't know about Justin Fields. He's up in the air. You get me?
Depends on
Wilson does.
Right. Justin Fields.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel you.
And you also look into the draft, and you have what? You have Sanders, Milroe. You have Quinn Ewers. They're good quarterbacks on the college level. I just don't. I don't think they're gonna. I could be wrong. I don't think they're gonna be NFL caliber players. If you were gonna look for a quarterback, it would have been in this past year's draft. Because this year's draft had quarterbacks everywhere.
Yeah, Drake May, Caleb Williams, etc. Those guys were stacked. I mean, we could have attacked. People were also speculating Michael to us, but I was sitting there like, I don't think so. I don't think Chris Greer and Stephen Ross, they know what they have. Like, don't get me wrong. We all know that Tua, the stats speak for itself, the film, everything. Yeah. He is one of the top 5, top 10 quarterbacks. He is elite in his own category. But the question is, that's creeping in the back of every Dolphins fan, is the injury concern. We've seen it play out before with him. Thing is, was this just a fluke, that 1 year success? Or are you going to continue that? That's the big issue.
I think based off of what we saw this past year, I don't think injury is, because we've seen what he does in the offseason. He grinds and he makes sure that he's in the top shape come the season.
Yeah.
I think the problem is what happens when Tyreek goes, whether he retires, whether we end up leaving him. He's always in legal problems. What's going to happen after that?
Yeah. That's my issue with him.
We saw when Tyreek went down, that no receiver stepped up, and that's including Waddle. Waddle was going through injuries, but
yeah, what
is he going to do without Tyreek?
I mean, I think that's the question. That's another question.
Exactly.
I think that a lot of us like to say that Tyreek Hill is the reason why he's what he is today. I mean, in some that is kind of true, but honestly, let's be honest. The quarterback throws the ball, obviously, and Tyreek Hill is going to be the one to do it. But when he's gone, yeah.
Every quarterback has their safe receiver, tight end, whatever. And for Tua, Tyreek is his safe receiver. You get me?
Yeah.
So look at Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has what's his guy's name? Number 88, CeeDee Lamb. You get me? Every quarterback has that receiver, tight end. You get me? And that's coincidence that Tua's safe receiver is probably the best receiver in the game. So
the question is the legal standpoint. That's where I'm at. I agree. It's a head scratcher. Every time that something goes well for the Miami Dolphins, you have Tyreek Hill. He does something like this. Now, I know he just had his reveal with the daughter. Congratulations to him on that. But at the same time, where do we go from here? Do we actually get a playoff win and you make sure everything is good? Because then after that, I wouldn't care, to be honest, about the legal. Let the NFL do what they got to do with that. It's a distraction every single time, and we don't need that right now. So I do hear what you're saying on that point. So moving on to the next question, bro. Will Devon Achane continue to dominate? Because he has an injury prone. He's injury prone. Let's just be honest. He has a history with that. When he is healthy, he's one of the, if not the most explosive running back I've ever seen in a very long time. I mean, he's kind of like Tyreek Hill in a running back. I mean, that's just me though. So what do you think from there, bro? With Devon Achane, do you think he's going to be dominant and take Raheem running back one? He could. Yeah.
I still think Mostert will be the number one running back.
Okay.
He's getting older, right? I think especially after this draft, signing Jalen Wright, I think that was a huge pickup for the future. I do expect Jalen Wright to get some a good bunch of touches per game, but I think our biggest running back is going to be
concern. Right.
No, not a concern because it looks good right now. We have 3 to 4 good guys: Mostert, Achane, right, and Jeff Wilson. Right, when Jeff Wilson touches the ball, he runs angry.
What about Chris Brooks? We have Chris Brooks as well.
I think Chris Brooks eventually will take a switch more into a fullback role, in my opinion, because Alec Ingold is getting a little older. He's going to get a little more expensive, and I think Aaron Brooks can possibly fill that role perfectly.
Okay, I could see that. Chris Brooks is a big body statue. I think he's a thumper, is what you're saying. Yeah. He loves contact. I can agree with that. I mean, Alex Ingold with Kyle Juice.
I mean, if you're gonna keep him as a running back, you also got to think of the bus with Pittsburgh.
Jerome Bennett's piece.
I mean, it's short yardage. That's the guy to go to. And even then, you can still go to Jeff Wilson. He's your probably third, fourth running back, and you can still go to him to get those.
That was a big question for me, though. Why did we pick up Jeff? Was it the continuity of the game plan that he knew the system that he fit with Mike McDaniel, or was it just?
I think over the past couple of years, we've seen running backs go down more and more. So I think having that depth at running back is a big need around the league.
I mean, that is true. Derrick Henry, he just moved to Baltimore, and they needed a running back, even though Baltimore is arguably the most talented team of all of football right now, besides the Niners. So I see what you're saying. You can never have too many running backs in your arsenal.
Especially with Mostert getting older. I do expect the first 3, Mostert, Achane, and Wright, to get a lot of touches. Once one goes down, I think that's when Wilson.
That's a big concern.
More grabs. You get me? More touches.
You know, let's be honest, because you've been to the Dolphin games. I think that's a huge. Wouldn't that concern you though? Like one man going down in the running back room that's really talented, and then you're gonna depend on like Salvin Ahmed, Chris Brooks, all those guys. Those are not big names, but this is what I'm trying to say. We don't need big name players. You can have unknown names, and they can ball out, and that's why the salary cap is what I'm trying to tell Dolphin fans. Tua Tagovailoa, if he does not get paid, which we'll get into in a minute, though, let's not jump the gun so quickly because we have other important players to pay, and it needs to be separated. So when you and I have seen the game with Jeff Ireland, when you and I were season tickets together, and we would watch Jeff Ireland dismantle this team, we sat there like, why would you bring in Mike Wallace when you know he was all about himself? That's why those individuals like Christian Wilkins and all these guys are not with us. They wanted the bag and not to help us win and take a sacrifice into that salary cap. So that's where I'm at with these types of players.
Well, with the tool, if you're going to get it done, you get it done now. You free up more money so you can pay these guys like Javon Holland, Jalen Phillips. Or I think Jalen Phillips just re-signed. They just gave him an extension, correct?
I don't think it was Jalen Phillips. It was Jalen Waddle. Jalen Phillips is
Jalen Waddle. Yeah, but those are guys that you have to think about. Those are guys that are cornerstones of the team,
right?
And those are guys that you need to pay. So
I agree.
If you're 100% on Tua, you got to get it done now.
But you know what some fans are going to say? They're going to sit there and say, we can go into the NFL draft and replace him. Very true. But at the same time, these are great players that we've hit.
Yeah. So the question is, who are you going to get? Who are you going to replace him with?
The most you want
Quinn
to get
Ewers,
the most.
Quinn Ewers, you have what, 4 or 5 guys, top guys
Uh,
in the draft this year, right?
Give or take.
You look into free agency. Who are you going to sign? What is it? Winslow from the Browns now. Who are you going? He's not a starting quarterback. Jordan
No.
Love, he's going to resign.
He's going to get his, yeah.
Dak Prescott's probably going to resign with the Cowboys. So who else do you have?
You got a long list. I mean, there's been speculation with.
I can pull up a list right now.
Go ahead, do your
I
thing.
have a list right here. Look.
See, we need to realize one thing, Otto, that I think that a lot of us have been. What's going on? Perfect Q. Perfect Q said in the comment section. He said, "Do you think Tua's agency, Athletes First, which is the people that he is represented by for Tua, will hurt themselves in the long term with negotiating, being that they don't compromise? NFL teams will no longer want to deal with them. They're being stingy." I mean, what do you think about that? Yeah.
As an agent, you try to do everything for your player, for the guys you're managing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I understand the question, but the agent's doing everything he can for that quarterback. Because at the end of the day, if Tua leaves the Dolphins because he didn't get paid, someone else is going to. There's a lot of
Drew Rosenhaus. Yes.
There's a lot of teams in the NFL that need a quarterback, and he's proved it. He's proved that he can play.
I mean, there's no question about that. Otto, there's no question. I think everyone in the Dolphins community knows that Tua can play the game of football. He's answered the questions and the health concerns. Yeah. The question is, and I go with Perfect Q on that, is where do we go from here, from his agent standpoint? Because they represent him, like he says, Athletes First. Mm-hmm. But Drew Rosenhaus seems to get the job done. And Athletes First is waiting, playing the long game. And that could hurt Tua because the quarterback situation, the salary cap is tremendously going higher and higher, as we all know.
I disagree. That's my math. I don't think it would hurt Tua because look at Christian Wilkins. Dolphins weren't going to pay him, right? And what happens? He ends up going to the Raiders. He gets paid. So Robert Hunt, at the end of the day, it's not going to hurt the player. It's going to hurt the team.
That is true. But Athletes First is taking they're taking the sweet time, and this is going to a lot of us are feeling disgruntled. We're feeling some type of way towards that. They want to get the job done now as best as offered. Like you said, market is the market. Question is, does he have to play that market next year? Because then people are going to say, oh, now he has to play his 50 option. What's the next step from that franchise standpoint? Does he walk away? Because he said, remember, you just mentioned Christian, right? Christian said, I'm going to bet, I'm going to play, I'm going to ball out. I'm going to show you I'm worth what I said. I'm worth 27.5, not 23.5, because we did give him 23 last year, and he said no. So, okay. The Raiders said, we'll give you the money. Dolphins, they played themselves on that. I liked Wilkins as well, but you have to move on. It's a business. But with Tua, this is a business. And if he moves off, like you said, we can go into the NFL draft. I get that. A lot of us can say we can just redraft again. That's cool. But Tua, it's very hard. Yeah.
You can draft, but this isn't a NFL. The 2025 draft isn't full of star quarterbacks that are automatic starters in the league.
No, they don't come off trees like that. Yeah.
You're not going to find another C.J. Stroud to automatically go in, or Joe Burrow automatically jump into a team and take them to the Super Bowl. That's not. I
have that problem right there with some fans sitting there saying they can just say we can go to the draft, but it's not that easy because you and I have seen as season ticket holders throughout our youth and now growing up, we see how we tear it down after 3 seasons.
Yeah.
After that, we rebuild. And that's what people are saying. Oh, but we could just rebuild it all over again. Your time slot is finished. Bills fans are saying, there's some guy named Mark from Bills says, oh, your time slot is finished. I sit there like, how? We're just beginning because we have torn it down repeatedly. And now we're building a team, continuously making the playoff appearances, trying to get to the next step and get a playoff win, right? And whatever the case may be after that. And we're still sitting there arguing about, oh, Tua's not the guy. Oh, he should get the bag. He's going to leave us next year. And if he does leave us, we can redraft. No, because if we do, we're going to be we're going to be stuck again on that quarterback carousel. And that's where I'm at, bro. I don't want to play that game again.
No team wants to play that game. So I think this is when they have to just sit back and you got to give to the contract at the end of the day.
Look, Perfect You said this deal wouldn't have been done already with Rosenhaus. It would have been done. I agree. Rosenhaus would have gotten it done. Just
Yeah.
like we mentioned, he would have not have hesitated. That is where I'm at with athletes first, though, Otto. I'm starting to realize
The problem is that
they're
with
playing a game.
Rosenhaus has ties with the Miami Dolphins, so it's a lot easier. He brings those guys in. You get me?
Mhm.
So he has ties. He has shows in Miami about the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, but that's
It's a little
the
hard, it's a
argument.
little harder. It's a little harder for what's the agency name?
Athletes first that represents Tua.
Athletes First. Me personally, I've never heard of them. So it's a
I
little
know.
harder when you don't have ties to the Miami Dolphins.
That
or
is true.
Organization.
They seem like they're an outside NFL corporation that's by themselves, first
Exactly.
party. I don't think they're a second party with the NFL, Roger Goodell, and all those guys.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they're.
Rosenhaus. Rosenhaus has guys everywhere, from the Dolphins to the Bills
Mhm.
to the Colts to Kansas City Chiefs. He has guys everywhere.
I mean, he has it all,
Yeah,
and that's why.
Oh, he picks up the phone. Oh, you don't like my play? You don't like what we have to offer? Okay, fine. All
We'll
right,
move on to the next team.
Chiefs. Here it is. He wants this.
Yeah.
Okay, you got
Look what he
it.
did with Tyreek Hill. The Jets supposedly now they were actually giving more than the Dolphins, and
Mhm.
Tua was like, I guess Tua was the main reason Tyreek Hill said, which
but-
honestly that could be, but I don't think.
At the end of the day, you can't compare. The Jets now they look decent now. They look decent.
Defense wise, yes.
Defense looks good. If Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy, they can have a really good offense. That offensive line, it's older, but they're still good. They have pretty decent receivers.
Didn't they get rid of Mekhi Becton at right tackle?
But Becton was a complete
Bust?
bust in the first round.
Okay, he had such talent, and they just didn't. That's that coaching right there. See,
Well,
Mike McDaniel, we have a coach. They don't.
I think it also comes into the player himself. He seems a little lazy to me.
Yeah, he kinds me give me of John Jerry. Remember him? John
Yeah.
Jerry was fat, overweight, and then he was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do anything. The minute he went to, I think it was the Packers or some shit like that.
Yeah.
He balled out. Got a nice contract extension. Same thing with Juwan James when he went to the Broncos. I sat there like, you just got a nice bag, and now you're becoming top 5, and you're arguably in that position. Like, what is going on? So I kind of see what you're saying. The system doesn't fit Mekhi, but we'll see. The Jets, first athletes, I don't like what this is going to be. I know we are playing that long ball game, and it's very, very, very dangerous to do. So they all,
The Jets, the Dolphins, Jets, and Bills right now, I think I'm a Dolphin fan. I love the Dolphins. The division still runs through Buffalo.
Yeah.
Right? So
For
right
now.
now, for that second place right now, the Dolphins and the Jets are competing for that second place, in my opinion. We haven't won anything. They haven't won anything.
When
the Dolphins were good, they were bad. When the Dolphins were bad, the Jets were good. So
that is true. They're always on the breathing on the net on our necks, kind of in that metaphor, because they're always there. Dan Marino.
Yeah, and look, Buffalo. Yeah, they got rid of Stephon Diggs, but they added a bunch of receivers that can get the job done.
Bro, I don't care what people say. The Buffalo Bills got Keon Coleman. He's a stud. He's the Gabriel Davis. They got their Stephon Diggs somewhere. Looking in that team, I'm not sleeping on those Bills, and I'm not sleeping on the Jets either, because you just mentioned when Dan Marino used to be with us, Jets used to be right there behind us, pulling on the saying, yo, you guys are going to make the playoffs? We're right behind you, though. We're trying to give you some hell. That's exactly what I feel like they're going to be doing this season. I know a lot of us are going to say, what the hell y'all talking about? The Jets? Fuck the Jets and all that. I get that. But at the end of the day, their defense is stout. Our team, supposedly Bills fans, Mark, is saying that our window is closed, but it's not. And we got a perfect time, bro. DTL, what's going on, bro? What's going on, man? Let's fucking go. Hell yeah, man. YouTube don't censor us.
The thing is that the Bills offense got a lot better, but their defense took a step back. They got rid of a lot of guys.
We're just good today, man. Let me give a quick shout out to DTR, man. Good to see you, bro. Yeah, man, we're just chilling today. I got my dog Otto, man. We're just talking about the big questions in the Dolphins community. You guys can follow him, DTR, at Comic Pursuit as well, bro. This is my best friend. Literally, I've known him since we were kids. So this is my dog. So we're just talking about a lot. We were talking about athletes first. Perfect Q mentioned something in the comments about that. And I think, Otto, that's why I'm going back to Drew Rosenhaus. I think that's the best representative, in our honest opinion.
Oh, he is, by far. He's one of the best in the NFL. He's one of the best agents across the league.
I mean, okay. So let's go off of that for a second. The next question I got for you, bro, is can the Dolphins find a reliable third receiver? And because OBJ, I like OBJ. He is up there in age, though, and I understand that he's not what he used to be, but he's a reliable third receiver, if not Craycraft.
Well,
you're going to say the Washington, yeah.
Odell, I think, is, man, look what he did when he was with the Rams. Look what he did with the Ravens. He was a solid number 2 receiver.
It's just the age for me. Yeah.
Hey, but you look at the last couple of years, and he's been top of his game. And he doesn't have to be that number 1 receiver anymore. Now he doesn't have to be that number 2 receiver. He can be.
Can he stay healthy? Question is, can he stay healthy though? That's what we're getting. Another question right there.
The thing is, when he was with the Ravens, he was healthy. He stayed healthy.
But with the Rams, he went down. So I'm just,
the Rams, he did down, but that's also the year that Cooper Kupp was down.
That is true. And you did mention the Ravens, but they didn't use him that much. They only alternated him in game situations that they needed. Like,
that's what.
Remember, Kader Cole, who got Moss last year against him on the right side of the sideline. So that's a play that we can use. But
you're not going to see Odell in every single play. You're not going to see him every single play. Just like how with the Ravens. But that's why you have so much. You have the defense covering Tyreek, Waddle, Jonnu Smith, the running backs, whichever running back is on the field, right?
Whoever, yeah.
Or you have Smythe, right? Now you have Odell Beckham, which has proved that he could be a number 1 receiver. He's a solid number 2 receiver, and he can be probably one of the greatest number 3 receivers.
Greatest, okay, he's a bona fide Hall of Famer. No one's questioning that.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that if you're going to rotate with him with Craycraft, and you have the Washington brothers, Berrios, I know he's going to be punt and kick return in special teams unit. I still question that third position though, because Odell, yes, but maybe I like Taj though. I've been airing out on Taj, but in Perfect Q, my bad, bro, said Aaron Rodgers has the same injury that Marino had at a younger age. Not buying the Jets. I get that, Perfect Q. Not buying them, but their defense is stout. But we'll see what you know how they are though. They always give us hell though. You know that, Perfect Q. They're always, banging on the door. But they're not going to be a playoff team, but they will give us some hell though.
Well, you got to think on top of that, he has a way better offensive line than he did last year. Way better.
Twan Smith, yeah, sure. Very savvy leader, veteran captain. He can have a say in the trenches, but I still don't think that they have the greatest offense. Garrett Wilson's nice. They got rid of Elijah Moore, who I still think is really good. Went to the Browns, did some nice things.
Yeah.
DTR said, cool part of OBJ, he gives Malik more time to learn the offense without throwing him in the pit of fire. I believe Malik will be solid. I believe so, bro. I like Malik Washington and Taj though, DT. I like both of them. I really do.
I'm gonna actually throw a comment out there.
Go ahead.
I do understand that he can sit back behind OBJ taking the knowledge. The problem is that I have with the Dolphins that their development sucks. Eric Ezukama was supposed to be the next Chris Chambers.
Debo Samuels as Swiss Army knife, kind of like.
So he sat down how many years? 2-3 years now, and we haven't seen it since. Yeah, neck injury, whatever. He's a body. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, but we haven't seen anything.
No, we have not.
The development when it comes to the Miami Dolphins is basically non-existent. The only one that really has, the only two, let's say, Austin Jackson and Christian Wilkins, and Jalen Waddle came, and
that's arguable. Yeah.
But they came in as like automatic starters.
Yeah, but they came in as in draft prestige, knowing this they have to do this. If not, they were getting paid top money though.
Yeah, but you're looking at as Austin Jackson. Yeah, he was what, a first, second rounder, whatever he
He was
was.
a first rounder because Noah Iguodala was traded, I think, with the package of Jordan Love swaps.
Yeah.
I think it was like that.
So
So
we picked him up as a development player, just like how this offensive lineman that we just picked up. What's his name?
yes, we did. Who are you talking about?
What's his
Patrick
name?
Paul? You probably about Patrick Paul? Okay.
Patrick Paul was a first rounder, second rounder.
I think he was the second round.
Let's look it up right here.
Yeah, man, I think he was a second rounder. I could be wrong.
He was a second round pick. 50.
He was a second rounder. Okay.
Right? He was picked high. He's not a day one starter.
But
He's not a day one starter.
But look what DTR said. He mentioned something about how he can be solid, right? OBJ can teach the league and all that. Well, that goes with Teron Armstead. Same thing applies right there. That system he can teach Patrick. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I agree. But when it comes to the development of the Dolphins,
it's the worst.
They haven't shown anything. Awesome. Jackson, I mean, when it comes to development players, look at Liam Eichenberg. Look at Noah and Iguodala.
Why y'all hate on Liam Eichenberg, bro?
Liam Eichenberg is horrible. I don't know how he's still on the team. The only reason I think he's still on the team is because he can play all three positions. Tackle.
Is he a poor man's Jesse Davis? That's what he did with Jesse.
He's better than Jesse Davis.
How about this? Can I intrigue you on this? Would you be shocked that right guard position would be Liam Eichenberg, center would be Aaron Brewer, and because people are speculating he could be at center, but don't look. You mentioned Austin Jackson. We developed him. We gave him time. Maybe Liam is one of that.
I think if we're still looking for a center and Connor Williams,
I like Aaron
come back. I think Liam Eichenberg takes that center position. I do think he takes that center position.
Then who you put at right guard? Aaron Brewer?
Aaron Brewer.
But he's known for center position. He could be just the backup, and you can get that undrafted, not Robert Jones, no. We have another dude, I forget his name.
Oh, no, you still have oh my god, dude. It's been so long since the damn Miami Dolphins have played that I forget all their names. You have what is it, Lester Cotton?
Lester Cotton, he's pretty decent. He's a left guard position.
Isaiah Wynn at left guard. Too.
Isaiah Wynn is left guard. He's the starter.
Isaiah Wynn's going to be a starter at left guard.
For sure. He's a stud, but then he's injury prone as well. So I hope, knock on wood, he don't go down.
You have, let's see. Yeah, that's basically the one that I'm not really a fan of is the Jeff Driscoll one. Or Jack Driscoll, I'm sorry. Jack Driscoll, the guy from the Eagles, looks slow and that doesn't. I didn't like it.
Athletes versus playing with money, right? I mean, they're playing with, like DTL said, fire. I mean, we'll see what goes with them, Perfect Q. At this point, we can only wait. We're at the waiting game, which is one of the most deadliest games to ever play in the NFL. I don't like this. I mean, there's nothing we can do. I say that we, in my opinion, use the fifth-year option. If you want, be damned if you don't, be damned if you do. But a lot of us as well in the community are saying, pay him, like you mentioned, pay him because of his film, don't lie. But
it's not only film, it's just at the end of the day, what's going to benefit the Dolphins? You're going to sign him now, you're going to free up money so you can sign your other guys, right? And at the end of the day, there's no one in free agency and nothing interesting in the draft.
This upcoming season in the NFL draft, I don't see any studs unless you're talking about the dude from – the only one I'm thinking of is maybe from Ole Miss. Forget his name.
Jackson. I have the list right here. Jackson Dart.
He's good, but I'm not trying to go into that, though.
I'll tell you four of the top quarterbacks right now. I have a list right here.
Go ahead.
Derek Sanders from Colorado.
That's one.
Carson Beck from Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Quinn Ewers from Texas. And Jalen Milroe from Alabama. Okay. Everybody else after that, you have Cam Ward from the University of Miami, Riley Leonard from Notre Dame. I mean, they're guys that there's a lot of questions.
I know. It's like, okay,
I'm a University of Miami fan. I love Cam Ward. I love Cam Ward.
You do?
I love Cam Ward. Yeah. He looks great. He's a Heisman, possibly a Heisman, could be a Heisman candidate. But
I'm not gonna say that because I said that about Tyler. I was on a show. I used to be on a show back then years ago when I first started off in the YouTube game, and I remember Tyler Van Dyke. I used to talk about the Hurricanes on the segment, and Tyler Van Dyke was. I used to pump him up. I thought his rookie year was sensational, and then look what he did. He crapped the bed. So that's why I'm at with Cam Ward. I don't think he's that dude because the NCAA is pumping him up, but I don't see nothing. The training camp. I'm sorry, bro. The spring game was not great. Go ahead.
Look, well, this
I just don't like it.
For you this year?
Yeah, I just don't like what UM's path is going right now.
I thought the offense didn't look very good. O-line didn't look as great as everybody said. I know that they didn't have a lot of guys dressed up for the spring game. But O-line didn't impress me. D-line got no pressure. Defense still couldn't tackle. You have one receiver that showed anything.
What's his name? Restrepo?
Xavier Restrepo.
He's the only one that had the one-hand catch with the helmet. Kind of one was like that. I'm like, that's the only one that's the dog on the team.
The only one that I saw do anything as a receiver. O-line, I know we didn't have a bunch of guys dress up. Still didn't. Somehow it still made the defense. O-line did bad, but D-line did bad.
I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying Mario Cristobal just yet. I'm just not.
I'm a diehard
dude. He's a Columbus alumni, okay, as you already know. But
see, pride, baby.
Adelante. But like this man, dog, is bull crapping us, man. He's literally lying to our face and saying, "Look, I'm gonna just give you guys great recruitments in this piece, but I'm not gonna give you the whole puzzle piece." And I'm sitting there like, bro, what are you doing?
I love Mario Cristobal.
Great recruiter, like everyone says. But
he's an amazing recruiter. But it's the same thing in Oregon.
The IQ. Oregon was the IQ.
Oregon, when he was the head coach at Oregon, he's brought in all these star players. Yeah, they got to the NFL. They're star players now in the NFL. Penei Sewell, the quarterback from the Chargers.
He's a stud. I ain't going hard. I wanted Penei Sewell. He's a stud.
What happens when you have them?
They're gonna want the bag tremendously.
No, I'm saying in college.
Yeah, they get the bag in college now. Kids are getting paid. Well, they're saying though it goes to the tuition, but that's what they say.
Well, now you get paid with NIL deals.
What? They're like 200K, 120K, something like that, give or take. Shadir Sanders. Shadir's making.
He's one of the highest paid. Look at Quinn Ewers. We keep talking about Quinn Ewers for Texas, the quarterback.
He's good.
Archie Manning is getting paid more than he is.
Archie freaking Manning has been.
That's just the name, man. The same thing.
It's the name. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Sanders looks pretty good, and if you get an offensive line in front of him, he could do some damage.
But let's be honest, though. There is no such thing as a perfect portal. Okay, let's not. You know it because you played college. You played college football, and you know the sacrifice that you had to do in order to get to where you wanted to go.
Yeah.
These players now are getting overpaid. I know that sounds crazy, but the question is, Mario Cristobal. We'll go back to the Dolphins in a second because I got a question for you. But since you landed on that, Jason Taylor can be the coach. Mario Cristobal can leave. But is this his last year with us? Because you mentioned about the trenches.
No way.
No?
No way. Cristobal has probably the best offensive line coach in all of football. Pop Warner, high school, college, NFL. He has the best offensive line coach in Eric Mirabal, another Columbus guy. That guy is maybe 4'9", 5 foot, 5'1". He has guys that are towering over him at 6'8", 6'9".
But he can utilize that speed, though.
He is the best offensive line coach, and I've seen him coach. I've been in the individual meetings with him.
Mm-hmm.
He is a great coach.
No way, for you?
I've been in the room.
Wow.
His first year, Hurricanes. I was there in that room with him, and he is the best of the best. He is by far. He can go right now. He can go coach in the NFL if he wanted to, and probably be the best offensive line coach in the NFL.
Well, if you know him, man, we'll get to talk to him one day. But hell, that is.
I'm not saying this because of UM, but he did. Look at Oregon. Look at that Oregon offensive line that he had. was amazing.
Or Penny Sewell, the center, Powers. I mean, yeah.
That the offer he is, and it's just not about the size. The technique that he coaches is the best.
What is it though? Like, because I know you're an offensive line coach, and then you move to D line. So, what is type of technique does he run there?
They run more gap scheme.
A gap scheme.
Gap scheme. Yeah.
Okay. So, no power. No eye. Okay.
I mean, yeah, you still run power. You have counter. You run everything.
Right.
But it's just a different scheme. It's a different way of teaching it.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're blocking a gap instead of players in a sense.
DTR said, "No way Eichenberg messes up on stunts and pulls." Oh, DTR. You're talking to an offensive line guru coach right over here, so he knows the stuff. He knows more about than me. We use the heavy from center to left. Liam had 0 sacks at right guard.
Well, yeah,
put him at right. Put him at right guard.
It kind of goes back to what he's saying. You still have stun. You have more athletic guys stunning defensive end, crashing inside, and he can't pick it up. It's right now.
But if he's stunning, question: if he's stunning, can he just get off the block easily, getting off to his left? Because if he's going to go to his right and he's going to hit you with a spin move, like a defensive lineman, Liam? He's good at that though.
What do you mean? Say it again.
He's good at kicking his legs, right? And when he's stepping back and setting his own power, like you mentioned, he can step at his right guard position.
The problem is that with Liam, he is slow. He has bricks on his feet. Bricks on his feet. Completely. Right. He can't move. And most of the time at center, you have someone helping you. Whether it's slide left, or slide right. You slide left, you have the right guard.
But he's so good at the left. His right is not the best. That's what we have.
If you're sliding right, you have the left guard helping you. So most of the time, you're not on an island by yourself. If you're playing guard and you have the technique, you're 1-on-1.
Can he pick it up though? That's the question.
No, he can't. I wouldn't be able to. I don't think even if you have a run play, a zone to the right, you have a 3 technique. He's playing right guard. That's a 1-on-1 block.
That's okay. You got single and single. So
you know what I mean? if you're running the same thing,
but can he just tap? Can he just tap and let him know? Like that's what I'm saying. Liam Eichenberg is good at that too. Communication makes money.
Well, so. Yeah, but if you're running zone to the right, right. If you're running inside zone to the right and you have a 3 technique, you're on an island by yourself. The tackle has a 1-on-1 block with the defensive end. Right guard has a 1-on-1 block with the right guard. If the 3 technique goes inside, center picks him up. But in reality, it's a 1-on-1 block. What's up?
Irving said, hold on. What do you say? From a quickness speed to kick out against athletic, Irving.
Yeah.
Athletic rushers that have bend around the arc. He has great technique, both in pass pro and run blocking, and does a great job in getting to the second level. He does a much better job than Liam pulling and picking up stunts by passing off linemen to his help and picking up the stunter. He's my favorite to start at right guard over Liam. He's talking about Jack Driscoll. He's talking about to TDR Jack Driscoll.
Okay.
Yeah. You watch him too, right? Because I know you like Locked On Dolphins, but Jack Driscoll does something on what's his name? Reasons Sean Finn said the NFL. He talks about he doesn't have to kick side. So what do you think about that then? If he doesn't have to kick.
So Jack Driscoll starting at right guard?
No. Why was I thinking of Driscoll, the dude from the Reasons? Oh, that's who I was thinking of, because I know you watched that show too. What do you think about that? I don't kind of get that, what Irving's trying to say, but he's...
Can you pull it up again?
Yeah, sure. I don't quite understand that. He said something about... I'll let you read it. Yeah.
I'm watching a tape of Jack Driscoll. He's not great at right tackle. I'd rather have him at the phone booth position where he doesn't have to kick side laterally because he really doesn't have the foot. I mean, he's not going to be foot quickness and speed to kick out against athletic rushes and that have bend around the arc. He has great technique both in pass pro and run blocking, and does a great job getting to the second level. I mean, no doubt, Irving Driscoll should not be starting. Might be better suited situationally in passing. I mean, but yeah, but you can't.
It's like 50-50 though, no?
Yeah, but you can't just sub. Hey, you want to pass? We want to throw in Driscoll in. I think we still have a solid. We still have a left tackle, right tackle. Depending on who Aaron Brewer is and Isaiah Wynn, that's a solid lineup.
So Isaiah left, right guard. I'm with DTR. I say we put Liam at right guard, center Aaron Brewer, right tackle Austin Jackson, and then left tackle Teron Batich, Patrick Parr. I like that. You can't go too wrong. I mean, like, bro, let's be real. Connor Williams. That's the question I was gonna ask you on my phone. Hold on. Here's another question, right? So, where is it? Can the Dolphins make up for Christian Wilkins' departure? No, that's not the one. Oh, here. Is Connor Williams done in Miami? That's the question that people keep saying, that we could bring him back. Now, it's the injury concern for me. The injury, that's the problem with me. I don't think so, because the salary cap plays a toll with that. But
Connor Williams, I don't know. It just depends on where he's at financially. I honestly have no idea, because I've heard things that he wants to retire. He's
second guessing himself. Yeah.
It just depends on what he wants to do. You get me?
You know, let's be honest though. Connor he was arguably the best center in his position when we were beating the crap out of the Broncos and we were taking that winning streak. He got hurt the center till he got hurt, and that what good are you if you get hurt? Good to me. So that's where I'm at. Do not bring him back, because I don't think his mind is on football. That's where I'm at. I don't think he's right there right now. It's playing the guessing game we're doing. Like you're saying with Tua's contract, we're playing the guessing game. Perfect, you mentioned about athletes first. There's a lot of questions still going on before the start of training camp. Yeah. And my question to you is, moving off of that, right? We talked about Connor. What do you think about the defensive line? How do we go from Christian Wilkins now? Where does that come to you? Because people are saying rotation. Yeah.
I kind of like the position that we're in right now.
Talk to me. Why? Because why you say that?
If you look at Weaver's defense I know he was a defensive line coach. I'm assuming he's going to play a lot of what the Ravens ran, which is a lot of a 3-3-5, 4-2-5 kind of defense.
Mm-hmm.
So from what I read is that they ran the 3-3-5 almost 50% of their snaps.
You're talking about the Ravens with Anthony Weaver.
Yes. So okay. If he does, I don't know what defense he's going to run, but if it is a 3-3-5,
mm-hmm.
That'll be huge, because they emphasize a lot of blitzes,
mm-hmm.
right? So I would expect start of season would be Zach Sealer and Shaq Barrett at the ends, and
so I got Zach over here. I got on the other side who we got, because you got one, Shaq Barrett, and then on the middle. You got Deshaun Hand.
Deshaun Hand. You can go old guy, Calais Campbell. What was it? Benito
Mad Jones. Rotation. Okay.
You have a bunch of guys playing that nose guard position. So I expect while Chubb and Phillips are gone, I expect them to be back latest week 7 after the bye.
That's another question. When will Jaden Phillips and Bradley Chubb be cleared to return? Is my question to you. Do you think before the start?
You don't want to rush them.
No.
I expect them, because I believe our bye week is week 5. I think I have this.
I think so. I think it's week 6. I think you're on the money though.
It's week 5 or week 6.
You're there.
So I actually
I like that. I kind of like that, because it doesn't. Imagine if we're on a hot streak from week 10 to week 12. And then we take a bye week and it slows us down. I don't like that. So I do like this bye week where it's at that.
So you have their bye week is week 6. The first 5 games you have Jacksonville, Buffalo, Seattle, Tennessee, and New England. Okay, I expect them to be back latest week 7 after the bye week. I think that would be a good spot for them to come back, and especially because we still have what is it, Jordan Brooks, and
I like Jordan Brooks.
we have a bunch of good outside linebackers.
We have rotational linebackers because
Exactly.
Duke Riley can set back in the pass coverage.
Yeah.
Brooks is more the run stopper, like savvy guy, the captain kind of like he's the vocal point.
Yeah.
David Long, I like him a lot. People don't really talk about him and give him a lot of love, but
He's a great run
he
stopper.
does a lot.
He's a great run stopper.
He's what, one of the top 5 in stopping the run last year, something like that in his position.
That I'm not sure, but watching him play, he's down.
So.
He plays.
He's disgusting. I mean, I think we're good with the linebackers and outside linebackers, but the question is, where do you think about the corners? Where do you stack up with that? Because the DBs, we have Jalen Ramsey on one side, Kendall Fuller on the other. Some are speculating Cam Smith can step up with Jalen Ramsey under the helm of him. Now, I like that, but there's one question I got to ask you, though. The safety position. We brought in Marcus May. You have Jordan Poyer. These are 2 savvy veterans that are up there in age. But
look, this kind of goes back. Kind of goes back to the defensive coordinator. How I was saying that he runs a lot of the Ravens defense. What I'm hoping he's going to run a lot of the Ravens defense, the 3-3-5.
Irvin said something about 3-4 over.
Yeah, they will also run 3-4, but especially 3-3-5, I think would be huge.
Yeah, 3-5. Yeah,
right, because you have your 2 corners, right? You have Phillips, Snowman playing up top, right? And then you also you have this guy, what's his name, from the Bills.
Who are you talking about?
The guy that the Bills that we just picked up.
From special teams unit?
Poyer.
Oh, no, I thought you were talking about special teams for a second. He's a headhunter that we picked up as well. I forget his name.
You also have Poyer, right?
Panthers
can play a little more in the box, like how he did with Buffalo this past year.
Super Bowl baby. I wish. I hope, man. From your lips to God's ears, detail.
So you have Poyer still playing safety, but it's more like a rover. So he's playing in between a safety and a linebacker.
So he's doing it all.
Yeah, so
he's playing. He's basically moving up and down every time, making sure he's alerting the DBs, trying to say, okay, I see what you're saying.
So he played a lot of that position with Buffalo when they were having their injury problems at their DB spots.
There's a guy we picked up.
He's comfortable in that position.
That's the question for me, though. That's going to keep nagging. Who's the rookie or the young talent that we have in that safety position that's going to be taught by Marcus May and Jordan Poyer? We got a guy from he was a dude from California. We did draft a safety from California, if I'm not mistaken.
Storm Duck.
In that position.
Storm Duck? I'm looking at him right now.
He's from Cali. We just drafted him. Excuse me.
Louisville?
No, California. He's a safety. We picked him up from California. That's where I'm at. Teach the youth that we have. I feel like we're building for the years to come. That's what I'm at with the OBJs, and all these guys that you mentioned. But
Isaiah Johnson?
No.
Syracuse. No, there's no one from Cali.
From California.
No.
Could have sworn we picked up someone from safety, bro. But either way, that's where I'm at with that position, bro. That's
Patrick Morris. He's a strong safety.
Strong safety?
Yeah, strong safety. He'll be playing behind Poyer. But expect a lot of these guys to get reps. Expect a lot of them to get reps. Poyer is getting older. He's on the backside of his career.
He is, but he's going to have to teach these guys for the future. So I like that on that point. But I just – okay, so we talked about that. Another question, bro. What will Jonnu Smith role be? We know he's going to be a tight end pass catcher.
100%.
And Durant Smythe is going to be the blocker.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that we're going to utilize Jonnu Smith way more in the passing catch, meaning as an extra wide receiver instead of lining him up at tight end? Is what I'm saying. You could put Durham Smythe at blocking.
I would expect more of a Mike Gesicki kind of role for him.
That's what you okay.
He's not a great blocker. He can block, but he's not a great blocker.
No,
I mean, I always expect if we're running a two tight end set,
okay,
expect to run to Smythe's side. Expect it most of the time, at least. Okay, So you're gonna see a lot of two tight end sets. You're gonna see a lot of not options, but play fakes. You get me?
I do like that, but that's my question of concern. We gonna target Tyreek Hill the majority of the game. We know that. You got the Washington brothers, you got the OBJs, you got the running backs. We can utilize them in the pass catch outside of the backfield. But it's still not good enough because there's that still nagging question of who's going to be the ultimate secret weapon that when Tyreek is going to get double teamed, right, from a corner and a safety looking on him, and then Waddle's going to get single, right? We expect him to be beat, but what happens if he's not going to get open in time for Tua? Who's going to be that third dude? A lot of us are saying Malik. A lot of us are saying Taj. I like those two right there, but it's a concern.
I think beginning of the season, I think expect obviously Odell, but I know you're not convinced with Odell.
No.
I would say River Craycraft. I think when it comes to River Craycraft it's funny because he does being so small, he does most of his damage in the red zone.
Okay.
Which is funny. Which I find that funny because usually you think guys that are dominating in the red zone are the 6'6" receivers, the giant
tight ends.
The tight ends, the giant receivers. But no, he does most of his damage in the red zone. So I would expect Odell Beckham to be playing more in the field, and then when you get closer to the red zone, you'll see a little more River Craycraft.
That's okay. Craycraft, I had to think about it for a second. You make a good point with him. Tua he is one of his favorite targets in the red. I mean, remember 2 years ago in Buffalo, that hot season. It was week 3, I think it was, that we beat them in our stadium. And Craycraft had a nice touchdown on the left side of the end zone. That's the only play I can remember from him. Maybe another one against Baltimore, I think it was 2 years ago. Again, another touchdown there. But besides that, he hasn't stayed healthy, and that's the problem with the Dolphins.
Well,
it's the whole now. I know it's like every season, but I get a lot of fans are going to say, yeah, but it's the game of NFL football. Shit happens. Everyone's going to get injured, and that's true. Yeah. But it seems like in the month of November and around December, when we're trying to pick up the speed, people in the offensive line, defensive line, etc., are going to go down. Let's not hope that's the case this year, but we don't know.
That's when you kind of have to look at your coaching staff and think, okay, what are they doing in the
rotational?
Not a rotational, in their the weight room. What are they doing over there? Like,
okay, health wise,
are they doing too much? Are they doing too little? What's going on here? Because after 2-3 years, you're having the same problems of everybody getting injured, right? I understand it's a long season, but some of these coaches have to understand that you can't do anything without the players. You know what I mean?
We have a question. Vamos Gato says, question for the panel: why hasn't the Dolphins went to any of the O-line classes at the U since a lot of the NFL coaches have attended? I don't know. That's a tough one right there. Maybe they have their own coaches and staff personally, but
I do agree. Look, the Dolphins. I don't know his name. The offensive line coach. I knew his name. I totally forgot it. He has done a great job as the offensive line coach compared to what we were 2 years ago, 3 years ago. He is teaching the right stuff. Okay. Should everybody learn from Mirabal at UM? 100%. I don't care if you play in the top. If you're the offensive line coach for the Eagles, the best offensive line in
that NFL, team is stacked.
Butch Berry. He's done a great job. But every team, every offensive line coach should go take a class with Eric Mirabal.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm not going to argue that. I would like to have my own Lane Johnson and Jason Kelce and all those guys. Hell, but
I guarantee you, if Jason Kelce goes to a Mirabal class, he'll learn a little something.
Yes, but Mario Cristobal is a head scratcher. Going back to the Hurricanes, I mean, you know that offensive line, dude. You know him personally. So I think I'm gonna take your word for it. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I don't know Cristobal personally.
No. The offensive line coach that you mentioned.
No, I don't know him personally. I've met him once or twice, and I went to one of because where I coach, we have like my head coach is best friends with Mirabal. So we were able to go in and tour the facility and be in one of the spring practices.
Fire.
So,
if you make it to the Miami Hurricanes coaching staff, don't forget about me, bro. All right, man.
I'll still be on deep zone.
But you already know, man. This is where I'm at, though. In the Dolphins community as a whole, everyone's been talking about the Tua contract. We discussed about with Perfect Q and everyone in the chat, DTR, Irving, everyone said their piece about Tua. Mm-hmm. But let me ask you the serious question that no one is going to really want to talk about. If he goes down and we paid him a huge bag this year, what do? Do you wait next year for another healthy Tua, or do you trade this man? Because if you potentially give him this bag that everyone's saying he's going to get paid, he goes down, what are we going to do?
If he goes down this year and you already paid him, what are you going to do? Right?
We have Skyler and we have Mac White.
40-something years old, torn Achilles, probably one of the hardest injuries to come back from, and he's coming back. At the end of the day, you pay your guy, you're sticking with your guy.
He won't be the same. He definitely will not be the same person. We all know Achilles changes a person. We know that.
Well, he's also 40-something years old compared to Tua that's 20-something.
I don't know why he's still playing. I think he loves the game of football. I know he wanted to be a Jeopardy host, but that didn't work out. Tim Jennings got it.
But look at Tom Brady. ACLs. Are they going to give up on him? Did the Patriots give up on him? No way. And guess what? Still went to a Super Bowl. I mean,
the Jets, that's a different question for another topic for a day. They are just a defensive-minded coach. We know that. The offense is a question. I don't think they can keep up with this, to be honest. I think that we can outscore them. I really do. But when it comes to –
But let me go back to that question that you had asked.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow, right? He was hurt this past season, wasn't he, or last year?
He was hurt this year and in the midst of last year as well.
Okay. If you're the Bengals, are you cutting him or trading him?
Obviously not, because he took you to a Super Bowl. So there you go. But with Tua, he hasn't done anything yet, meaning we haven't won a Super Bowl. Or
you want a division title? Whoop-de-doo. I don't give a damn about division titles.
That's why I keep telling the Dolphins that. I'm like, bro, if we win the division this year and lose a playoff game,
as a fan, yes, I love it. We're winning.
That's awesome. But
we win the AFC Championship.
No, I want to win.
I love it.
But
at the end of the day, you want to win a championship. You're not trying to get.
Who the hell wants to make the playoffs and then lose in the first round? We're trying to win the playoff game because it's been almost 30 years that we haven't won a playoff game. That is ridiculously to say, and I'm disgusted to say that, and I'm pissed. I get emotional sometimes when I'm in Twitter spaces or whatnot, or YouTube panels, like on whoever. I get very emotional. I keep telling people I want a playoff win. I don't care about the playoff appearance, because that right there doesn't mean jack, because we have not been able to have a bragging right and saying
like
back.
Like getting a participation award.
A participation award for thanks for having a great season. But it's not good enough. You're not going to have.
If you're not winning the Super Bowl, it's a fail.
It's ridiculous.
And I don't. And obviously,
how are we going to
depending on the situation? Like if you're going 0-15 and you make it to the playoff the next year, that's a great accomplishment. Right? It's a great accomplishment. But what are you playing for if you're not trying to win it all?
You're not. Hold on, let me put this here. You're not playing to win. Like last year when Mike McDaniel lost in the playoffs, I sat there really.
You're playing
to win. But the problem is, people want to say, let's pay Tua because he's done enough. And I'm like, he's done enough on the football field to prove to you that he's an NFL caliber quarterback, that he can hold his own. But
look,
as a team, as a Dolphin unit, let's not pay him or Tyreek Hill just yet until this logo gets a playoff win this upcoming season. And once they get that playoff win, you both can get whatever you want. You both want to be the highest paid in your position. We'll say, bro, you just helped us make a huge achievement. Dolphin fans in the stadium. Dolphin fans.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna bring in another rookie quarterback and
not doing that. They're gonna fans are gonna be pissed. They're gonna be pissed. They're gonna sit there and say, "So we're gonna be losing."
I understand both parts.
If there
was a better way out, if there was a automatic lock in the first round of the draft, yeah, sure. Don't give him the 5th year option. If there was someone in 2025 free agency, right? If there was someone that was great and it was full, and you know there's a chance you can get him. Okay, yeah, sure. Give Tua his 5th year option, right? But right now you're looking at Dak Prescott. Jordan Love is gonna re-sign with the Packers.
He's commanding his contract right now, and he should. He got a playoff win, right?
Well, who are you gonna go after? Let's see. Let's see this.
There's a lot. There is a lot, but we're not going to.
Who are you gonna go for? Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson.
Don't tempt the Dolphins community. Don't tempt the Dolphins community because they'll sit there and say, "Let's get Sam Darnold. He's the next big thing, and we can plug him into the system, and he'll fit." I'll sit there like, "No,
they're not realistic." The one that I would look at is maybe. Don't kill me. Maybe Justin Fields. He's young. He has experience.
You could trade for him if he balls out with the Steelers this upcoming season, and who knows if they do a quarterback carousel with him and Russell Wilson.
I don't know about trading because no one's gonna want. They already have a starting quarterback.
He's under contract for the next couple of years, so they can't move.
They're not. They have Russell Wilson under contract. They're not going to pay a starting quarterback heavy. I mean, a backup quarterback.
But we're not in that position to actually look for another quarterback. We're in the position of can you get us to the next step? Once you do that, that's where I'm at with Chris Greer and Stephen Ross as a whole. I really do think that those two are seeing that's the big picture. They're not sitting there questioning, "Oh, Tua, we're going to have to draft the quarterback next year, or we're going to have Mike White and Skylar Thompson be the dudes. When you go down this year, we have backup A and B set up in motion." No, they're saying, "Bro, we know you're the dude. Just win us this playoff game. We'll give you what you want. Hell, you take us to the AFC Championship game, give you even more than what you've ever wanted." We want to be what like the Lions did last year. That's what we are trying to envision because the Lions are out of that. The only team that has been suffering for 24 plus years is the Miami Dolphins in the NFL. No one else has done it. The Browns already got theirs with Baker Mayfield a couple years ago, winning the division. Wild card, then losing in the division with OBJ and Jarvis Landry. And then the Detroit Lions said, "Yo, Dolphins, we're out." Now this year, are we next? And you know
what's funny? Dan Campbell should have been our head coach.
He was our intern.
I know he should have been. He was our tight end coach.
He was damn well
our head coach for a very long time.
What about Todd Bowles? Because Todd Bowles was hell of a coach for us too. Defensive mind. I mean, that's another dude that
the thing is that when Dan Campbell was our interim head coach, he was young. He was young, very young. I mean, at the time, you really didn't have coaches that young.
I mean, but look at Sean McDermott. Look at Sean McVay. I mean, these are two guys that went into their own at a young age, threw them and said, "Yo, this is your team. Let us show you." Their first years was very rocky, but then look where they are now. Mike McDaniel's resume speaks for itself. He is impressive. I'm not questioning Tua. I'm not questioning Mike ever because his first 2 years, playoff appearance. Because someone's saying that his first year, okay, I'm going to call out the Bills fans that are saying that his first year was an Adam Gase year. He was going to take you first appearance, and then you're never going to make it again. You're going to miss the 4 to 6 years.
Who's this?
Bills fans. They know who they are. His name is Mark from Bills fans.
I'm saying the player you're talking about.
Oh, the player? He's talking about Adam Gase. When we had Adam Gase, his resume, first year, some guy from Mark said, "Your resume is the same thing as Adam Gase." And I sat there like, what the hell are you talking about? He sat there saying, Mike McDaniel will not take you to the playoffs the second year. Well, we made it to the second year. He's no Adam Gase prodigy. So that shows you that the Dolphins have a coach, a quarterback, and a front office for the first time in a long time. The problem is, the
way that McDaniels coaches, you never see a coach like that. You never
His
see.
resume is already better than Sean and the other dude in Rams. Just imagine what he's about to do in his third or fourth year. Give him time. He's about to take it to the next level, meaning maybe we could be looking at potential Super Bowls.
The thing is that with McDaniels, he's one of one. You'll never find another NFL coach just like him because he's a player's coach.
He is boring to listen to though in his press conference.
He's a player's coach. Players love him. He's not Sean McVay. Sean McVay is a tough coach. Look at Dan Campbell. Players love him, but he's a tough coach. McDaniels, I've watched Hard Knocks, and I don't think I've ever heard him scream at one player.
He screamed. Remember Tyreek Hill on the dive? He was on the dive. Tyreek was on the dive pod. The dive podcast, was it called? A couple of days ago or something. And it's where Ghost of Adam Gase and all these guys. And he said that he got chewed out in the locker room by Mike McDaniel. And I expect that from Mike McDaniel privately, but I don't think as us fans are going to see it in the public. And I don't think Mike McDaniel in his press conference is going to show you his emotions. He's not that type of guy to scream at people. So
I hope he is screaming at them. I hope he is. Because look, as a player, as a coach, right? I've been a player. I am a coach.
Right? You are a coach. I'm trying to be a coach, but give me time. So I'll be there.
You have to scream at players. That's just you have to.
I'd use it for me instead of screaming. I'll use the bullhorn, bro.
No, I'll use the horn. I go to my car after practice, and my voice is gone. But you have to. It's just part of the game. It's discipline.
It's discipline. Yeah, you have to be disciplined.
That's part of it. You need that. It's not. Yeah, you can be cool with your players, dap them up, say you love them, whatever. But you got to be tough. And I know it's a little different because high school you're trying to.
You know how it was.
Men compared to NFL.
In high school we were trying to knock each other's heads off and trying to get to somewhere, either academic scholarship or just sacrifice and kill kids in front of us. So that's basically it.
High school's a little different because high school
we just played for fun. We didn't do it just because of there wasn't no fucking money, bro.
I have a lot of players that are just they're trying to make it out of their situation.
I mean, Columbus, but with Columbus, they do a great job getting people out. You know what I'm talking about with Deion Bush and CJ Henderson's of the world, all those guys, they got out because of Columbus. Yeah. With you can do the same thing as your coaching job. You can discipline and scream to them and say, I want what's best for you. That's why I'm out with Mike McDaniel. Since you're the coach, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're a coach as well. So Mike can sit there and say, I need you to do this. And if you're not doing this, I'm going to hold you to this standard. And that's what he does with Tyreek and the whole group of the NFL.
Well, you know what? Let me ask
people are not going to see it. Go ahead.
Ask you a question.
Yeah.
We've already talked about the legal problems with Tyreek Hill. Does it come to a point that the Dolphins say, hey, we're done with this?
Yes. At one point, okay. Fair question, because I lost a lot of subscribers for this. I lost like 5 subscribers a couple of days ago. I made a video about Tyreek Hill lawsuit. And once I made that video, I lost like 5. So I was like, oh, damn, people got to – whatever. It was my opinion. So I'm going to say it again. Might upset people, but I don't really care. I think that last year, that incident with the boat or whatever that dock was, the pushing, okay, I let that be bygones be bygones. The year before that, when we traded for him, he had an incident allegedly, with a woman, one of his baby mamas in the past, that he struck, whatever. This year, now you're coming out with an OnlyFans woman allegedly breaking her leg, allegedly. I'm saying it allegedly because the Dolphins, you know how it is. So if he does something this year, he wants a bag. Go get your 2K and get us to the Super Bowl, like you said on the Dolphins Dive podcast. If that is true, we will give you what you want, a 3-year contract extension with the money. We won't care what you do outside of football because that has nothing to do with football. But it does reflect on the Dolphins logo because the more you do that, and the law has to be into it. Now, you know Roger Goodell is going to get into it as well, and it's going to affect us. That's why if next season, in the offseason, before you give him the bag, let's wait. There's going to be a lot of fans going to say, hell no, but ready? Training camp next year. Let's give it to him in the first week of training camp. You know why? That means the whole offseason you stayed out of trouble for the first time. Meaning, if you're really about the game, Do not do anything allegedly bad next year, and then we'll see what you do, and we'll give you what you want. Same thing with the Tua. Tua, you want to get your money? Ball out this year and take us where we need to go to the next step. So those are two different categories that I can see that the Dolphins can take.
I like it. The thing is that when it comes to the Tua, like I said before, you sign him now, it kind of helps you. It helps you out. You get me? And let's see what happens with Tyreek next year. It's if you can give it to him early and sign players, give money to other players early, then you kind of have to.
Okay, I have this article here on my phone. I'm going to read this to you. So I had to screenshot it, and I'm going to read it. I think I have it here, actually. Hell. Please don't tell me I deleted it off StreamYard. Give me 1 second now so I can bring it to the viewers. So yes. I have it right here on your screen. This is the alleged, since you're talking about the topic of Tyreek Hill and where do we go from here on that standpoint of giving him a contract, this is the alleged, I say again, sound like a broken record, I have to. The social influencer suing Tyreek Hill, accusing him of breaking her leg, is now asking for an immediate jury trial. And this is going to be during the NFL season, Otto. So I hope you know that. Be strapped in, because if he misses a couple of the NFL games, this could affect us. Just like last year, losing to Tennessee, losing to the Bills, losing to the Ravens. That affected us in the divisional round and affected on the playoff bracket spot. This could also affect us down the line. And that's where I'm at. Do not give him a bag yet because of this. Let's see where this plays out first. And then until then, if it's all copacetic, then we can give you what you're asking once it dies down. But right now, this is going to affect us a lot.
The problem is that, yes, Tua dies down, but then based off of his track record, there's a chance it might happen again. You get me? So it's like at this point, yes, you're a great NFL receiver, possibly future Hall of Famer, right? Mm-hmm. But everything that he's doing it does hurt the Miami Dolphins.
It reflects everything he does reflects bad on us.
At the end of the day, you have a job, right? Mm-hmm. You're working wherever you work, right? You get into legal problems. What are the chances they're going to let you go?
They're slim to none. Majority of the time,
there's a chance that they might let you go, depending on what
he can appeal it. He can appeal this, but the question is,
but how many strikes do they give you? How many strikes are you gonna let him go?
We'll give him 3. We'll give him 1, 2, 3. 3 strikes, you're out. That's what I'm saying. This is it.
Strikes. And you're an NFL player that's getting paid millions. You shouldn't have 3 strikes. Okay, I understand. Okay, once, depending whatever you do, okay, mistakes happen, whatever, right? But after 2, that's it. You're done. I don't think it's a 3 strikes and you're out. It's 2 and you're done. You got one free. After that, you're gone. I'm sorry.
I agree. This is getting annoying. I love him. I keep telling people, this is why people unsubscribed to Deep Zones a couple of days ago, because they didn't listen. I told them, a lot of them are going to get into their feelings, because I told them I love him as an NFL player, as a Miami Dolphin. When he suits up, I love him. Outside of a human, terrible. That's my honest opinion. That's how
I'm not going to say him because
I don't know him. I don't know him personally, but we've seen what has out of these types of things, these so-called allegations. It gets to the point that I sit there and I'm saying, where's your integrity? Where's your honesty? Are you really just a hater? Are you really just going to keep on bullshitting people and keep on hating? Because that's what I think he is. I think he's a hater. Meaning, if you're putting a hand on a woman, you don't do that. And that's why I told people in that video, and I think that ruffled a little couple feathers and they unsubscribed to that, but whatever. And the case may be is, I'm at this point, Tyreek Hill, just play the game of football. Everything you have the noise outside of it, leave it alone. Leave it alone.
You know how many kids, let's just say in Miami, right, go outside and play football and think they're Tyreek Hill, right? Then they look at the news, they look at Twitter, all these little kids are on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and they're seeing that their favorite player that they want to be is doing stuff like this, right?
Three
It's
strikes.
it's you're putting a bad name on yourself, but you're putting a bad name on the Miami Dolphins.
This is true. And you know that is, it's come back to bite them. Karma has come back to bite them. Because now, since we know the truth about them, the individual truth, it's come to me that, like, I'm gonna, like, for instance, I'm gonna do a Twitter space next week, right? I think I'm gonna do Twitter spaces now once a week, and I'm gonna be talking about that right there. It's gonna piss off a lot of Dolphin fans, but I can care less. And the fact of the matter is that when I do this Twitter space and I talk about that, I'm gonna mention you, and I'm gonna mention those 3 strikes, and right there is why. That's why I keep telling them, do not pay this man, because if you jump the gun and give him all this money, you're going to screw yourself over with Tua, because then now Tua is going to sit there and say, wait. Jordan Love got the money, like you mentioned earlier. Tyreek got just his money. Jalen Waddle got his money. Dak Prescott might get his. What about me? That is where I'm at, because now he's going to feel some type of way. That's why I do not pay none of those 2. Because both of them are going to have to be salty Tua and salty Tyreek, which I like, because it's going to have a chip on their shoulder to say, okay, you want me to show you? Here you go. And they're going to do that.
The one thing I love about Tua is he listens to the criticism, and he uses that as
loves it. He loves that. Same for me. Shit.
I kind of, that's what I like. There's a dog in him. There's a dog in Tua.
You have to be a dog.
Oh, you're saying that I can't do this? Oh, guess what? I'm going to prove you wrong.
Boom. That is the mentality you have to have.
Look at before last year. Oh, I can't stay healthy. I'm always injured. What does he do? Plays all 17 games, right? Now this year we're saying he can't move. What does he do during the offseason? He loses a bunch of weight. Let's see what he can do now. Let's see if he can move a little more. But he's trying to make the doubters wrong.
And that's why I like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the question is, that's good and all, but NFL Network and ESPN, they're going to have their say about it too. They're going to say that's cool, but it's not good enough for the Dolphins because he just can't win you the big games. And that's why I keep telling people, okay, I can't argue that, because last year was a huge argument on Twitter. Even me, I made a video like telling people, yo, we can win the big games when necessary. Well, obviously we couldn't as a team, but people kept pointing and saying, oh, it's always Tua, it's Tua. It's him. Well, really, let's give the same energy. Injuries played a toll, as we all know. We're not going to use the excuse factor for that, okay? Shit happens. But at the same time, we need to know that enough is enough. I'm not going to buy into these players because they have their foot down and they're saying, I'm telling you what to do. This is how it's going to go. Mm-hmm. And Chris Greer and Stephen Ross is saying, we've been through this before. We've had quarterbacks come through and say they wanted a bag. You're going to have to show us what you really are. And that is another chip right there, like you mentioned, that he can use.
The thing is that we've had quarterbacks that want the money, but have they performed in any way?
No.
Who's the best quarterback in the last 10 years?
Besides Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes?
No, I'm saying with the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, Ryan Tannehill. And then if we're going back an extra 20 years, we'll say Chad Pennington. That's about it.
Chad Pennington, I want to say, was already on the back end of his career.
But he had one good year with us. Yeah. 2008. You remember it?
The thing is that it wasn't even him. It was the Wildcat.
It was the freaking Wildcat. Yeah.
So
we had a stout defense too. We had Joey Porter, Channing Crowder, Jeremiah Bell.
But if we can get back to that, focus on the run. I know. One thing with McDaniels is he completely. I'm an offensive line guy. I love the offensive line. So what do I love doing? Run the ball.
Yep.
Run the ball. With McDaniels, it's okay.
Oh my God!
Run once and then pass.
That is what I said on T. Bro.
I wasn't like that. Look at back with Pennington, right? Our bread and butter was the run. What got us to the playoffs? The run the ball. Yes, you have the best receivers. Doesn't matter. Run the ball.
You know what I said? I was on a show, right? I was on someone's show a couple of days ago. His name is Pete. Shout out to him. And I mentioned something, right? And I told everyone on that panel, you know, and I said, did you understand that Mike McDaniel abandoned the run during the playoff run and also during the midst of the Buffalo Bills game? He abandoned the run. And some said, no, we didn't. We didn't abandon the run. I sat there like, oh my God.
Look, in the playoffs,
so when he abandons the run, we lose so badly because he tries to put it all on Tua and Tyreek, as we all know and argue about. But I was trying to tell them on that show, yo, when Mike, he abandons the run. And they were like, no, he doesn't. And I'm like, okay, obviously I don't know football. That's why I have my own channel and they don't give me recognition. And that's why I keep telling, yo, you need to understand Mike McDaniel's scheme is great, but he too has some things to learn. Now, this guy, Mike McDaniel, he's a great coach, but his offensive scheme always needs to be there. He's not there when we play against the big name teams.
Yep.
He seems to vanish. He seems to be very, very quiet, I've noticed. He takes a step back and allowing the offense and the defensive coaches to just do the job while he's chilling. But when we play games like the Broncos or whatever, he's there and he's communicating. I tend to notice. Devon Achane at 3.
Once we played that Broncos game, once we played that Broncos game, killed them.
We ran it down their throats and then we left it.
That's it. We just stopped running. I understand. Look, the playoff game against Kansas City, fine. Mostert was hurt. Achane was hurt. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. Okay, fine. All right, but you still have other guys that can get the job done. Look, when Jeff Wilson went in, he was running the ball like an animal. I mean, it was 3, 4, 5 yards here and there most of the time, but you cannot pass unless you're killing them. You have to set up the run before you can pass.
Yeah.
Look, as a defensive end, right? If you know it's a pass every play, what are you going to do? You're going to put your hand on the ground. You're going to put all your weight on that ground, and you're going to get a good get off. Right? Throwing a run in there. What's going to happen? He's going to bounce.
You're going to set the team off balance.
Out, and there's going to be a giant hole right there. Dude, you have to run the ball to pass. You have
consistent.
Yeah.
And he tends to get off he's on a road, right? Let's say I'm driving, right, on I-96, and then I see some bad girl on my left, and I'm like, oh, snap. And then I see someone just selling me some diamonds. What you think when I'm going to take? I'm obviously going to take the chick. Forget about the diamonds. And that's like Mike. He's like, his mind is somewhere else. That's why I'm like, where's your mind right now, bro? Is your mind somewhere like not in football? Like, why can't we win the games? Where are you? You become ghost, literally. And I get really upset because we always point the finger at Tua. But Mike McDaniel is the self to blame as well. And when you listen to his press conferences, it's tough to literally listen. Yeah.
In this past season, there is a lot to blame on McDaniels. A lot to blame.
A lot. Even the defensive coordinator. You just should never bring in Vic Fangio like that. Now, I know a lot of us didn't know what we were going to get out of him, but when you know that you're getting an aging defensive coordinator that doesn't know what's left from right, look what happened we went to 0 blitzes again. It looked like that dude we used to have years ago when Brian Flores was up.
With the 0 blitzes you have when you run a cover 0
cover 0, but you have 2 men. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cover 0. Everybody's manned up. When you're running cover 0, I understand it against the Chiefs, because against the Chiefs we had no defensive end. We had no pressure.
We have no one.
I think almost every defensive coordinator would have called the same thing.
They should have been butchered. They should have been killed for that. Every defensive coordinator, we should have murderized because they got exposed.
But the thing is that you're not going to do anything if you're not getting pressure on the quarterback. And they were getting no pressure, so they had to go to cover 0 to try and get pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Still wasn't working.
Still wasn't. You still leave that bad man open for a tenth of a second, and he'll still get it off. It doesn't matter. We don't have no pass rushers at that time.
Like I said, I can't even count that Chiefs game because it was just disaster everywhere, from the players on the field, from the players that were hurt, from the coaches. you couldn't do anything with what you had.
They weren't doing nothing. I mean, just sat there like this was boring to watch. Like Tyreek Hill was getting bodied up by Snead,
Yeah.
literally. So there you go. The offense is done because we abandoned the run as well. So we had no offense.
You also had
And forget about the code. You could forget about that code. You could forget about the code because we were there. It was I think it was 21-14, something like that.
It's not even about the code. It's not even about the code. It was just that injuries. Us losing.
Yeah, but people are gonna sit there and say that's an excuse. Well, really, it was an excuse. We had so many of our key star players out, and we still kept up. But we still kept up with the Bills, though. We did.
The thing is that, like I said, when you go down 2 defensive ends, your star defensive ends, dude, that's tough. That's tough.
Irving said, "Don't be." Nah. Irving, we had Mark on Pete's show a couple of days ago, and I had to tell Mark how is our window closing, and he was stubborn. Mark from Bills fans knows everything. He's always right. He's God. So that's why I had to let him know exactly, like, yo, we abandoned the run. And then of course I got overtalked by Mark, of course, because he's just he never come over here, but fuck him is what I say. And honestly, I keep telling people, real talk, this is it. Like, we abandoned the run, and they say, no, it's Tua. Your time is your window is now gone. And I'm sitting there like, you guys don't know football, to be honest.
A lot of the losses this past year, I would definitely blame on coaching. Definitely coaching.
Like, these Bills fans talk out of their ass. They don't know what they're saying. So that's why I had to like, I went up on there to let those Bills fans know what time it is. Us Dolphin fans are realistic, and we know what we have in a quarterback named Tua. Bills fans just hate because we have a quarterback, and they think that we don't. It's fine.
Look, Buffalo is going to talk all this shit just like how the Patriots.
They're going to talk all that crap. They're the biggest
Super Bowls. They're going to talk this shit. It's normal. Guess what? When the Dolphins win, I'm going to talk my shit.
I'm gonna talk about so much shit, bro.
It's normal. As a Buffalo, if I was a Buffalo Bills fan, guess what I'm doing? I'm talking shit. So
I should create a space. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just troll them next week. I'm gonna say fuck the Bills Twitter space next week. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm a Bills fan. I'm talking my shit too, and I'm letting the Dolphin Nation hear it.
Hell yeah, bro! Like, dog, we gonna clap back.
I don't blame them at all. Guess what? Just like the Miami Heat and Boston Celtics, when the
Heat the same thing.
were running the East, guess what? I'm talking shit to Celtics fans.
We doing it all day, every day.
Now the Celtics can talk all their shit, of course. And we
got they're champions again.
They won.
Hey, when we win our champion, hey, all I gotta say is Trey, if you're listening, you know what time it is when we win ours. I'm gonna have to give the business. But no, man, I think we really. Going off of that topic, though, before we get into the closing statements and all that, I think that we talked about Mike McDaniel and how he really needs to take ownership. He doesn't take ownership that much. I know that Tua likes to do that, and Tyreek Hill, they do that a lot. And I think Mike needs to mature. He still has a lot of things to do in his aspect, meaning he likes to point the finger. And that's that bullshit that we can't have anymore. Because when you do listen to his boring press conferences, which is really boring to listen to, he really likes to say, and I think that, the coaching staff and me, no. First off, the coaching staff listens to whatever you tell them. They have the game plan, right, for you. They come to you and say, yo, coach, we have this. What do you think about it?
He's like, I think he goes to them and says,
bro, because I don't think Mike is that guru that we think he is. I think he's more, like you said, he's a player's coach. He's more in the ear. He's like side by side. Let me tell you what is what.
As a head coach, you listen to your coordinators, right? Just like how the position coaches listen to the coordinators, right? Mm-hmm. There's stuff that the individual coaches say to the DC or the OC. And then the OC goes to the head coach. So it's hierarchy, basically.
This is true. But it goes with both ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest, though. It can rub each other the wrong way, meaning Mike McDaniel can sit there and say to Tua, look, I'm going to run the ball. I don't care if you want to throw the ball so many times to Tyreek. Now, I know Tua's going to say sure because he has to, and he's that type of guy to do what's best for the team. But Tyreek Hill, this is where I'm at. Does Tyreek Hill take the leadership standpoint and say, okay, I'm not getting more of the touches that I did last year, and I'm perfectly fine with it? Or is he going to go on his social media and blast us? Because he has the tendency of doing that. And that's where those 3 strikes, like you mentioned,
he might, but
are you going to be a distraction again to us?
But that's the ifs, you get me? I think we gotta go with what we know. Like going back to McDaniels. McDaniels as a coach, he's still learning what he has to do. I think he needs to understand what halftime really is, right? Mm-hmm. If something's not working in the first 2 quarters, guess what? It's not going to work in the next 2 quarters, in third and fourth quarter. You have to change your game plan. Your game plan has to change throughout the game.
I agree. And that he has to adjust. And that's what me and a lot of people have talked about in the community, that can you adjust in the right situation? Like Tennessee was a prime example. They were being physical up front, stout defense. And it was a rainy game. I get that. People are going to slip and fall. But
look, when it comes to the weather, it doesn't matter because both teams have to play on the same conditions, in the same conditions. Turf sucks, grass sucks, whatever. Both teams have to play on it. Right?
But that's what Mike has to really get into his own. He and Tua have something to learn together, meaning Mike has to teach the guys, I'm going to be the leader. I'm going to tell you guys, no. Offensive coordinator, I know you want to throw a slant. I'm going to say we're going to run it up the middle. And they're going to have to say, okay. And Tua's going to have to say, all right, bet, cool, let's do that. Even though they don't want to, because we're a flashy team. They're going to say, let's do bubble screens. Let's go out here and throw it 30 yards down the field, and we like to yap the hell out of people.
Those little bubble screens work a lot of the times.
I mean, but look what happened with Tyreek Hill in the playoffs. He got a bubble screen, and Snead blew him up. And hell, even again in the Germany game, we did a bubble screen with Tyreek Hill. He fumbled it, touchdown.
And how many times did after that didn't work? How many times did he run it again? Oh, shit.
He continued. There's the prime example. You ran it in Germany. He ran that in Germany and didn't learn his lesson, right? And did it again in the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. And how did that go for you?
Two different games. What I'm saying is
same, bro.
It's 2 different games. Everything changes in the two games, right? In the game in the playoff game, right? Mm-hmm. We ran the bubble screen, didn't work. Second quarter, we ran it again, didn't work. Halftime, where you're supposed to make your adjustments, right? Nothing was adjusted. You go into the third and fourth quarter, you're running the same play, and guess what? It doesn't work. You have to make adjustments as the game goes on. That's what I think McDaniels needs to understand. He needs to make adjustments throughout the game. And I think the biggest downfall for the Miami Dolphins this year was beating the Broncos by whatever, 70, 60, 70 points. Whatever.
It really motivated us and pumped us saying we can beat anyone, but then it took us back to...
It pumped us up for a moment, but everything after that just went downhill.
Yeah.
Everything, okay, we're winning, it's going to be perfect. No. Look what Tennessee. You're up, then you're down.
Then the Ravens. That was a crucial pivot point as well. Yeah. I mean, Baltimore single-handedly just dismantled us. And then here we go now. Buffalo. The game that we should have won. Buffalo won that game. They took the division. They deserved it. And that showed that Josh Allen is still the better quarterback than Tua at that time. And I think that's why we are not going to give Tua the bag. That's another reason why it showed Steve. Imagine if you're an NFL owner and you're sitting in your own box and you sat there and you're like, you're good. You're right. This is Allen and this is you. But hopefully next year you get right there and I'll give you what you want. Once you show me once you get to right here, I got you.
And going back to the Bills, yeah, their players got better, right?
Younger and better. And I'm going to give it to them. Very young for the future, just like us, though. So,
but now they have a full season with their offensive, with their OC, with their offensive coordinator, Brady. What's his name? Brady, whatever.
It's Brady, Quentin Brady?
No, I forgot his name. He was the head coach, I think, at UCLA or whatever.
Something like that.
Or UCLA? Whatever. They have a full season with that OC. That OC knows what he's doing. That OC,
they're going to be fine. The Bills are going to be fine. I think they're going to be just
better than they were last year. I guarantee.
I agree. I keep telling people Keon Coleman is the stud. I really wanted him. I really wanted to draft him. But now he's.
I think that OC is going to make Josh Allen. I think he's going to get Josh Allen over that.
But they did the right thing, though. They traded for Rasul Douglas, very nice corner. Then they have Johnson. Then they have on the offense, like you mentioned, Dawkins at left tackle, James Cook, Keon Coleman. The list goes on. Kincaid, Dawson Knox. They still got players that are dangerous. So we're not going to roll over and sleep on them, is what I'm saying. As Dolphin fans, we should not, because they're going to be dangerous. Yeah, they're a Super Bowl team still. I'm just going to be real.
I hate the Buffalo Bills as much as any other Dolphin fan.
All my passion.
But they are going to be better than they were last year.
I agree. I really do. I really do agree. Stephon Diggs is not all about me. Gabriel Davis was really nice, but inconsistent when he's not there. And you got guys that are young, and we have the guys that are young. And I feel like it's a game of that they're playing, like the Dolphins and Bills. Obviously, they're trying to see who has the future. I think, obviously, we want that, and they want it as much. The Jets, someone mentioned, I think Perfect Q mentioned the Jets early in the chat, that the Jets, do not sleep on them. You mentioned that as well, and we're not. The Patriots, too, I keep telling, Drake May, he's a stud. I know a lot of people, Caleb Williams, are going to bat for him, Jaden Daniels, but Drake May is a decent. Now, I'm not going to say he's like the CJ Strouds of the world, but he is a decent quarterback. I'm not sleeping on the Patriots is what I'm saying, because OJ Mayo came from that system of winning, and he's going to implement, indoctrinate that into these types of players. He's going to focus on the defense, but his offense is going to be decent. They're not going to be great. They'll be a below average, I think, at best at 7 wins for them. But for us, I think we're at 11 to 12 wins, and the Bills at 13.
I personally don't like NFL teams hiring former players, in my opinion. OJ Mayo was a great player, right?
Middle linebacker, stout Mike linebacker, yeah.
I just don't know as a head coach. It's just.
But look at Dan Campbell. He was a former coach for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, but
former players. Excuse me, former players.
Yeah, but but I'm saying for the team that they played for. Like OJ Mayo,
because he played for the Patriots, so he knows. Yeah.
I don't really like OJ Mayo. I'm saying OJ Mayo was a great player.
Defensive mind. He's like a Brian Flores prodigy, kind of. I kind of give him that. I give him that.
But I don't think as a coach for the I've never liked it. Them hiring any team. Hiring, like if the Dolphins would hire Zach Thomas to be the head coach. I'm not saying position player might work, but coach, I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it.
I mean, I kind of understand what you're saying, because then they were a player and they might be too friendly, is what you're saying, to the players.
No, not friendly, because at the end of the day, they've never played with them. But it's just it's a different. I think they should be able to coach somewhere else. I this is just an opinion, personal opinion.
I feel that. No, I feel that, and I get that, and I honestly think that you could be right on that aspect too. I mean, they could take that aspect of a head coaching job, might not pan to you, but he could be a defensive. Bro, he could be one hell of a defensive mind coach and be a defensive coordinator for a different NFL team if things don't bode well for them in New England. But like I said, I'm not sleeping.
I feel now a defensive-minded head coach doesn't do much in the league nowadays at all.
True, because you had Don Shula. Shula was
I'm saying now.
But Shula was a defensive-minded coach, so now we have an offensive-minded coach. The game is changing now, so I see what you're saying.
As I'm saying now, as a defensive-minded head coach doesn't do much in the NFL, because the NFL is such an offensive-minded league. You know what I mean? What's a great head coach that's defensive-minded right now?
Mike Tomlin.
But
that,
but are you good with 8-8 every year?
No, because you can't be middle of the pack. Hell, you and I know when you were season ticket holder with me, you were 7-9 with me every single season. So that was, I don't know what you're saying.
Look at Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick was a defensive-minded coach, right? Once the game started to change and he lost Tom Brady.
But I think you're right, though. But I think you're right. Times has changed.
100%.
Kids and players want to play with coaches that are, I'm not going to say that are nice. No one wants to. They're not there to be your friend, but they're there to say, "Yo, I'm here to motivate you to do better." I'm not going to scream in your ear as much as you think I am, because I don't think a lot. Even me, when I was in high school, I don't like when coaches are screaming, taking their hat off, and making me feel like shit because I dropped the fucking football. I'm sitting there like, "No,
it's going to make you better at the end of the day."
It's going to make you better, but there's two different ways that you can go about it, though. There's a way that you can get into someone's ear, right? In a great way, like try to motivate you, like I said, or you're trying to just blatantly scream at them 24/7. Now that is not what people want to play with.
There's a difference between screaming at them and just screaming at them and just screaming at them. And then the difference is screaming at them, and then teaching them, coaching them what they did wrong and they should do better.
That's the type of coach that Mike McDaniel is. He's the one that I'm gonna scream at you and then teach you. Others like OJ Mayer, I feel like he's the type to constantly scream because he's the Bill Belichick.
We'll see. I hope OJ Mayo succeeds as a head coach with the Patriots. I hope he brings the Patriots back to what they were.
I hope so too.
I want the AFC East to be just as
actually. I take that back. Hell no! I want the Patriots to suffer like how we suffered for decades.
I want to say, hey, the Dolphins won. They got out of the hardest division in the league, just like how the Ravens, the Steelers, the Bengals, the Browns. That's, in my opinion, that's the hardest division right now in football.
Can I get a hey yo?
Yo.
Yeah. No, but it is the hardest division for us. And I think that the Jets, the Patriots, and the Bills, all four of us are going to have a toss-up for the division this year. I'm not rolling over, like you mentioned, the Jets earlier. I don't think right now there is something cooking over there. There is something. I don't know what, but we shall see.
I want the Patriots to be at the top of the game. I want the Bills to be at the top of the game. I want the Jets to be at the top of their game. I want to be able to say, hey, the Dolphins beat the Patriots, the Bills, the Jets, the hardest teams, the best teams in the league.
I
want to be that because, like, if I'm a Ravens fan, hey, we won our division. We have the Steelers, we have the Browns, we have the Bengals. That's my opinion. That's the hardest division. My
division. I mean, I can't argue that. I'm not arguing that. To be real, the Jets defense, Patriots defense, Dolphins offense, Bills, they kind of like a mesh. Their defense and offense have a perfect blend. But for us, I think our defense needs to be there. But let us take us to the wrapping up of the show. Let's get us your last comments, man. And Otto, man, give us first before we go. Give the people here, let them know where they can find you on Twitter and also any social platform. He has a comic. Ladies and gentlemen of the Dolphins community, please support. The Dolphins community is a strong one. I'm going to try and promote you as much on Twitter. It's pretty big on Twitter. You should be shocked. You'll be shocked. This is it, bro. My dog, he does comic pursuits. So, Otto, man, let them know, bro.
Let me see if I can get out of the way. Comics Pursuit. I sell comics, anything that has to do with Marvel, DC, anything comic book related. Follow us on eBay, Comics Pursuit. I'm also on Instagram, Comics Pursuit. No Twitter though.
I will try my best to get the Dolphins community to interact with you on Twitter. I promise. I'm gonna next week when I do a Twitter space, I'll put you in there to promote.
Sure.
And the Dolphins community is a strong one. There is good people out there, so hopefully they can come by, support your website, and come by and see what you have to offer. So take a look at that, guys, if you guys can. Comics Pursuit, my dog with Otto Man. And Otto Man, outgoing comment, let us know, bro, how you feel.
All I have to say is go Dolphins, baby. Sign Tua. Sign him. Get it done.
We're done. And like that being said,
get your shit together.
Click the like button, subscribe, and let us know how you guys enjoyed the live stream. We are out. Otto, once again, bro, thank you, man, my brother. Appreciate you, bro, for stopping in and chilling with me, man. We'll see you guys for the next one.
My boy.